What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to the 2021 tri-state tornado consumed by darkness. This is the tornado outbreak that involved the Mayfield one, I'm pretty sure. Although I'm not 100%. I think it is. It says the story of the EF4 Jonesboro, Monette, Leachville, Haiti, Tiptonville, Sandburg tornado. Okay, I don't know. I think that maybe I'm wrong then. But yeah, we're gonna check this out and see. I don't know if it is now, because like when I searched this video up initially, that Mayfield one popped up, so I assumed that was the case, but maybe not. But yeah, it's another tornado outbreak type video, which I've been doing a lot of recently, because usually I just focus on like solely big tornadoes, like specific tornadoes that have caused loads of damage. But the outbreak ones, I'm now realizing are a lot more, I say impressive. They're shocking, impressive at the same time. But yeah, we're gonna check this out and see. I've obviously heard of the tri-state tornado. I think I've done reactions to this stuff before, but a video sort of focused on the whole entire event, I feel like would be quite interesting. But we're gonna check this out. Hopefully find this interesting. Hopefully going to enjoy this reaction. Links are in the description to my Patreon, where you can see reactions that I can post to there that I can't post to YouTube. Whether it's weather reactions, I know there was more tornadoes that happened the other day, but I posted reactions to the tornadoes that happened, the tornado outbreak that happened about 3 weeks ago, which was crazy. Movie reactions, TV reactions, all that stuff. I've also seen there's a movie coming out, a tornado movie, I think, and it looks crazy. Like from the trailer, it looks pretty insane. So maybe I'll post that onto my Patreon when that comes out as well. But yeah, we're gonna check this out and see this video, and let's jump into this.
In December, a monstrous tornado is heading straight for the Mississippi River. Douglas Lewis, a crewmate aboard a tugboat in the river, receives an alert on his phone. There's a tornado heading straight for him. Stranded on the boat, he does the only thing he can do and begins to video the dark mass approaching him. Soon, he runs to the bottom floor before the boat is swallowed by the winds.
Oh.
December has arrived in the United States. In Monette, Arkansas, the temperature peaks at a chilly 45 degrees Fahrenheit.
Did you say December? Tornadoes in December?
Suggesting a typical winter season in the upcoming days. But this is far from what weather forecasters see. Meteorologists at the Storm Prediction Center have noted an unusual characteristic in the atmosphere. The temperature was expected to be unusually warm in the coming days. Moist air, combined with strong winds through levels of the atmosphere, allows for possible thunderstorms throughout the Mid-South on December 10th. As the day draws closer, forecasters begin to get a clearer picture from weather models of what is about to unfold, and it's incredibly strange. What they're now seeing is a weather pattern that could potentially become a tornado outbreak, and so they begin to issue warnings for the public. But for many in the area, there are few signs that anything is about to happen. It just seemed like an unusually warm day was approaching. December 10th. It wasn't until the sun had begun to set that the first storm forms. Developing over Little Rock, Arkansas at 4 p.m. It needs time to organize. The elongated structure signals that it's ready to spin and become a supercell, and it continues to build its strength until it's ready to unleash its fury. At 5:50 p.m., meteorologists observing radar note strong rotation in the storm, prompting them to issue the first tornado warning. At 6:40 p.m., the storm produces its first weak tornado of many just south of Jonesboro, Arkansas. Although very short-lived, it wouldn't be long until it produced another tornado, and then another at the same time. These twin tornadoes were unfortunately not the most prolific thing the storm would come up with. A couple dozen miles to the northeast where the storm was moving, environmental conditions such as CAPE, or the available energy in the atmosphere, in the shear, or the spin in the atmosphere, was conducive for extreme tornadoes, and this is right where the supercell was going. Unfortunately, it was the next tornado that would land the storm in the history books. At 7:07 p.m., a funnel descends just north of the town of Bay, Arkansas. The tornado is weak at first, partially destroys a farm building as it crosses into Lake City, Arkansas, and continues to race to the northeast. Hunter Fike is at his parents' shop. What he sees seems to be an almost tiny string tearing up the ground in front of him.
Imagine seeing this, man.
Nearby, Josh Taylor continues where Hunter left off. The tornado tornado now has an apparent stovepipe shape, much
bigger.
thicker than previously.
Oh, there's definitely a tornado on the ground. It's definitely on the ground. Oh,
Imagine
yeah.
that, you're recording it and it's just flashing constantly. That would give me the heebie-jeebies, man. Flipping hell.
Big.
Only a couple minutes after Hunter's video was shot, the tornado clearly has a lot of energy and it's growing rapidly.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Oh, yeah.
There's more. I think.
In the town of Monette,
Maybe
few
not.
people are aware of the impending danger heading straight for them. One of these oblivious areas is the nursing home north of town, which is now sitting directly in the path. At 7:20 p.m., a phone call is received by employees at the nursing home. The owner, Rick Sampson, calls in a panic, stating a tornado was on the way and that everyone needed to get to a safe space immediately. Nurse Barbara Richards glances out of the door and sees a dark mass beelining straight for her.
No.
She ducks down and yells for everyone to cover up. Before she can even complete her sentence, the winds explode and the roof and walls collapse. As soon as the winds arrive, however, they stop. Immediately, sirens from emergency services can be heard driving down the road, and as EMS crews evacuate the structure, they find the body of Golden West Pembry, the first death attributed to the tornado. There is little reprieve before the next town is subjected to the tornado's increasing power. The town of Leachville now only has 5 minutes before it too is struck. On the north side of town, a dollar store is still open. June Pennington, the store's assistant manager, and another, much younger employee, watch the tornado approach. Seeing the dark gray clouds, they rush into the store's bathroom. As the winds whip around the building, the anchored steel frame is warped and twisted out of its foundation, leading to the collapse of most of the structure. Pennington lies on top of her coworker to protect them as the wall caves in on top of them. In the chaos, June Pennington passes away,
What a woman.
miraculously
What an absolute legend she is.
saving the life of her young coworker.
That's unreal, man. Fair enough. And I mean, I always think, like, how unlucky do you have to be in the line of a tornado? Especially, like, you're out the way of the town. Obviously, the tornado doesn't care where you are, right? It's just going to go where it's going to go. But you've just been in the line. It could be anywhere else. You've just unluckily been in the line of the tornado, man. Flipping hell.
Teenager Kelsey is filming from back in Truman, where the tornado initially touched down, but due to the flat farmland, the large wedge tornado is still visible.
It's pitch black without the flash, without the lightning. Flipping hell.
Near the dollar store, several other warehouses and residential homes suffer extreme damage, with some well-built structures flattened. One of the warehouses is a large cotton gin. As the vortex crosses over, thousands of pounds of cotton bales are shredded, a relatively strange sight. The tornado is clearly still intensifying. It's now crossing the Arkansas-Missouri border, and more towns are in the firing line, with the tornado heading straight toward the town of Hornersville. Lines of trees now are shredded by the winds. They lose their bark and their branches until they're basically reduced to not much more than large toothpicks. This tree damage is unbelievably violent. Fortunately, the storm sweeps just south of Hornersville, sparing many homes and lives from destruction, but other people wouldn't be as lucky. Storm chaser Max Olson is now approaching from the north, taking note of the very strong radar signature now present on the tornado. Taking exit 14 to the east, he sees the beast in the distance, now approaching the town of Braggadocio.
How mad have you? I mean, I understand this is their job, right? But how mad have you got to be to approach a tornado, man? Flipping hell.
I've been able to see something there. It's insane positive CGs. Based on the radar trajectory at that time, it looked like the tornado was probably going to go pretty much right to where I was at or just a little bit north, and I was just straining my eyes on the horizon as CGs were just raining down around me. And then finally there was this moment where I saw this giant power flash. Oh, what was that? Oh, I think I see it. Yep, that's it. Power flash just observed. Yeah, I can see it off in the distance. It's a big stovepipe, maybe wedge.
In the town, only a handful of residents are even aware of the approaching monster. The tornado continues to grow in strength, however, shredding massive metal transmission towers until they collapse, whilst several homes are reduced to no more than piles of debris. The winds in the tornado continue to rise as the tornado closes in on the homestead of the Rackley family. The Rackleys had moved to the home just a week prior. Mom, Megan,
hell.
a teacher, identified the safest possible place in the home, the center bathroom with no windows. While watching the news, they decided to heed the tornado warning and went into their safe place. The storm is 15 minutes away, and the family poses for a photo. The close-knit siblings, Aniston, age 9, Ava Lynn, 7, and Lainey, only 3, smile. Aniston clutches her favorite baby doll as she lies in the bathtub. Everything the family was doing was correct, but unfortunately, this is not always enough. The dad, Trey Rackley, begins to hear the sound of winds accelerating around the home. Loud banging begins to echo as debris spews across the home from the neighboring towns. Soon, the banging turns to screeching as metal and wood is ripped and shredded. The tornado is about to make a direct hit on the Rackley family home. Max Olson is still watching the beast draw closer.
Mate, look at that.
Towards populated area now.
That's so eerie, man.
And as the Rackley street is crossed, a power flash, indicative of power lines being destroyed, illuminates the vortex.
Jesus.
The Rackley's home, unfortunately, cannot resist the strength of the tornado. The home is shredded by the winds and then swept down to its bare foundation. Debris is granulated and tossed across open fields nearby. The Rackleys are launched along with the debris into a nearby field. Unfortunately, the oldest daughter, Aniston, is unable to withstand her injuries and passes away. Aniston was described by family as a bright light. She loved swimming, dancing, and cheerleading.
How like horrible, like this is gotta be the worst possible thing to experience. Like, you're a family, you've just seen this happen. How do you mentally recover from this? That's gonna be stuck with you for like forever. Obviously, I mean, it's your child, but even just seeing any human that happened to, that'd be stuck with you. But I just don't know how someone could mentally recover from this sort of event.
Across the road, a second home is swept away. Fortunately, no one is home when it struck, but the damage here could be even stronger than at the Rackley's home. The tornado is actually the strongest it's ever been and begins to carve spirals into the ground, showing the vortex behavior itself. Max begins to book it north as the now mind-blowing wedge tornado crosses the interstate. Its eyes are directly on Hayti, Missouri.
Not a good situation. It's moving right into town here. 80.
I slowly just inched my way north towards the town of Hayti as this tornado was marching towards the interstate.
Dude, chill out right here.
That car, I guess that car just can't tell. Is he trying to beat them to stop? Oh, mate, I think he is. He's trying to beat that car to stop.
That guy needs to not go any further
Oh, that is horrible. It's because it's so, you can't see it, can you?
forward. All right, it's crossing in front of me.
Fuck.
Yes, I know. All right, it's crossing in front of me.
Two other storm chasers, Brad Arnold and Nick Gorman, are up ahead of Max
Oh, was that who the car was?
and film the tornado as it crosses the interstate.
Go backwards now. I can go backwards up the ramp. But... No, you're good. It's right there in front of us. Should cross right here. Yep, it is. Yeah, I saw a power flash. It's right there. Yeah. Right there. Tornado crossing I-55. Right there. Got it. Right there. Got it.
Unfortunately, they are also catching the next tragedy on film. Just to the east, truck driver George Martin is unknowingly driving into the path of the tornado as the winds begin to sweep across Interstate 55. Martin's truck is swept off the road, critically injuring him. He would die a week later. Only a couple miles to the east, neither 28-year-old Mark Travis nor his girlfriend Leanne know that they are driving directly into the path of the tornado. As they drive down Highway 84, the heavy rain and darkness completely obscures the tornado from view, meaning they are only alerted to the danger when violent winds suddenly sweep across the road. A utility pole is suddenly thrown down in front of them, leaving no time to slow down. resulting in a high-speed collision. In the crash, Leanne is extremely injured, and Mark is unfortunately fatally injured.
God
Max,
damn.
now crossing the tornado's path, comes face to face with the reality of what's happening as he finds multiple semi-trucks flipped with several injuries.
Another semi.
Oh man, this is crazy.
God damn it.
That's cable barrier. It's just cable barrier. He's crawling out.
Holy shit.
Hey! Get inside! In here? Huh? You want to get in here? Here, I'll see if it's okay. Hey! Get in!
To the west of I-55, the violence of winds gouges even more, swirling cycloidal marks into the nearby fields. The path these patterns take show how the tornado narrowly misses Hayti to the south, approaching the Mississippi River north of Crothersville. Factory lights from a warehouse along the riverbank illuminate the wedge, briefly displaying its violent motion as Max frantically zooms tighter.
It was around this time that the tornado was approaching the Mississippi River, and this is when that large light was able to illuminate the funnel to where you could truly see the violent motion. As if it already wasn't prevalent enough before with the continuous lightning, now it was just so vivid. You could very clearly see how intense this thing was, and it was just churning its way off in the distance.
Melissa Copeland and her husband see the tornado in the distance from across the river and begin a Facebook Live to alert neighbors and family of what they're seeing in the distance.
He said it's going north.
I don't know if y'all can see that on video, but we were heading back home from being at someone's house for shelter, and we seen the tornado. There was a bunch of people parked at the overpass, and then there was another funnel cloud forming as well. This is towards Crothersville around Great River Road.
There's another one.
I don't know if y'all can see this or not when the lightning strikes.
The tornado is still obscenely violent. Douglas Lewis, a crewmate aboard a tugboat on the Mississippi, notices a dark mass
Here we
approaching.
go.
Simultaneously, the emergency alert system blares that a tornado emergency, the rarest tornado warning possible, has been issued, and those in the path need to take immediate shelter. However, there is virtually no shelter on a boat stranded in the Mississippi River. With no other option, Douglas just films the wall of death approaching them.
Supposed to cross the river right here where we're at.
Oh man.
I think that's it. So we got a front row seat, that's for damn sure. Side of the river.
Fucking hell. Nah, this video is mad. They got some crazy footage, man. Look at this.
As it draws closer, he ducks below deck with the rest of his crewmates. The winds batter the tugboat, but in some miracle, everyone on board survives. An anemometer on board recorded a wind gust of 121 miles per hour as the boat narrowly avoided being destroyed. To the north, another crewmate, Keith Fowler, also filmed a large tornado approaching.
Oh,
To the south, a different tugboat is capturing something else because the tornado is so close. The boat's onboard radar, typically used for navigation, is actually scanning the tornado's funnel. The radar scan shows an incredible spiral of rain circling the vortex, with a defined eye at the center. This is the exact moment the tornado is now crossing into Tennessee, officially making the tornado a tri-state tornado, one of only a few tornadoes to ever achieve this feat in recorded history. The tornado crosses the meandering river, jumping between Missouri and Tennessee until it makes landfall on the Tennessee side of the river after 8 whole miles of travel, beelining straight for the south edge of Campbell's Point, a town south of Tiptonville. Another disaster is coming into fruition. The tornado scrapes the south edge of town, with its wind field ripping roofs and injuring multiple people. But for the people staying at the large Blue Ridge hunting resort, the tornado does anything but scrape it. Jamie Antonio Hall, brother-in-law Steve Gunn, and Steve's son Grayson are in a group of 8 people who have traveled from Florida to the resort for a duck hunting trip. As night arrives, the 3 of them return to the top floor of their hotel to get some sleep. The rest of the family goes to stay in the resort's clubhouse. But as the tornado approaches, those in the clubhouse are able to rush into a bathroom stall in the bottom floor. As the tornado sweeps through the resort, the clubhouse is demolished, with only the bathroom stall that the 5 people are sheltering in standing. At the resort, the 3 men are oblivious to the danger until they're awoken by the sound of the roof giving way. In just seconds, the hotel is gutted, whilst nearby trees are debarked and reduced to stubs. The cabin that Jamie, Steve, and Grayson are in feels the worst of the impact. The entire top story is shredded away. All 3 men would be found deceased in the rubble. The tornado is now growing smaller, but that doesn't stop the now record-breaking path length. It crosses the Blue Basin Lake into Samsburg. On the south side of town, many poorly constructed homes collapse, with some reduced to nothing. In one home, 72-year-old Danny Inman Sr. does not make it as his home collapses onto him. The tornado moves into the heart of Samsburg, where the fire department is struck. A group of firefighters are pinned under debris as the structure collapses around them, rendering them unable to respond to victims in Samsburg and in the Blue Ridge Resort. The police department and City Hall are also severely damaged, along with 25% of all buildings in the town. Miraculously, no one else dies in town. Barely 2 miles after the tornado exited Samsburg, the tornado suddenly weakens and dies. The monster is done, but the impacts are not. While somehow narrowly missing the center of over 7 communities, 9 lives had been lost and hundreds of structures had been destroyed. Being the lesser-known sibling of the subsequent Mayfield tornado, many of the homes and people affected by the tornado never got the
Oh, so this was the same outbreak, but this was a different tornado.
attention or aid that they really needed, even though the intensity and the duration of the tornado was mind-blowing. This is the case with many of the other tornadoes during the December 10th, 2021 tornado outbreak, highlighting the importance to not forget the victims in towns that aren't in the limelight. Donation links will be provided in the description.
God damn, man. This was horrifying. The little additions of who these people were before they lost their lives really shows how much you care. Yeah, it's nice to see that and actually learn about the people, right? I mean, it's just horrible, though. Tornadoes at night are scary as hell. Yeah, man. They really are something else. A different beast. Tornadoes in general are the scariest thing, but at night, flipping hell, man. Those people on the boat, how the hell did they survive that? Fair enough. But yeah, that was a look into this 2021 tri-state tornado. I mean, again, there was multiple ones, right? But yeah, this was shocking. Let me know your thoughts on this, and until next time, peace.